Hey guys, welcome to another episode of E-Waste Profits, where we talk about fixing PCs and flipping PCs. So in today's episode, this is part of a multi-part series on updating your BIOS. I wanted to talk about basically how to determine what the BIOS version actually is. A lot of times I don't really care. I usually go right into the BIOS update if I have a bunch of PCs, mainly because I knew that they all came from the same office or hospital or wherever they came from, and I know that they're probably out of date anyway, because if one is out of date, they're all probably running the same version. But what you can do is you can easily go right into the BIOS. If you know how to do that, before you boot into Windows, you hit the proper key. For Dell it's F12, for Lenovo I think it's F2 or sometimes Escape, and for HP I think it's F10. Depending on the manufacturer, they're one of the F keys usually. So that's one way you can go in and update the BIOS. And the other is if you're going to remote into somebody's PC and you really don't know what they got and you don't want to reboot their PC, there's a way to look at the BIOS version right in Windows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do that process. And so this way you can easily understand how to get the BIOS regardless of whether that PC is in your hands physically or if it's remote, and you just need to find out what the version is. All right, let's get to it. Hey guys, so here we are on my desktop, and I wanted to go over two things: getting your BIOS version and getting the serial number from your computer. And these are important things to have when you're going to update the BIOS. The traditional way to get your BIOS version number is just rebooting your PC and hitting the BIOS menu key before the operating system boots. And right there on the main screen you should usually see the BIOS. A lot of times you might not really have that capability if you're remoting into somebody's computer, or if somebody's in the middle of a bunch of work and you don't really want to reboot their computer because they got a bunch of stuff open. So in those cases, you can also use on Windows 10, you can go to System Information. I already have it open here. And on the main screen, it should say BIOS version /date. So just record that. You could copy it and put it in Notepad, or you could take a screenshot or just write it down on a piece of paper. So once you have that, the other thing that's good to have is to get the serial number off of the PC. And you can get this in the BIOS. Usually the serial number is there. Sometimes it's on the exterior of the case, or on laptops it might be on the bottom. And you can also just type in CMD, go to the command prompt, which I already have open, and just type in WMIC space BIOS space get space serial number, and just hit enter, and then it'll spit out the serial number of the computer right there. So you could just copy that, or you could write it down, and then once you have that, you can just go right to your manufacturer's website. I have Dell open here, where you just I'll start it from scratch. I have it already saved here. Just click on support. Paste in your serial number there. Go to drivers and downloads, and just select BIOS. And there's the latest BIOS there. Alright guys, so if you like this video, if you think there's anything I left out, just make sure to like it and comment on anything you think that I might have left out. And subscribe if you think this was helpful, because I got some more videos coming along on BIOS related updates, but also a bunch of other stuff, fixing PCs and flipping PCs. Alright, thanks guys. Take care.